Hello, I'm PDYX.
And I'm Ant Keeps Gaming, and welcome to Playing It Wrong, the show where we play random online Nintendo games and talk about them.
That's right, each episode we're going to take one random NES game and one random SNES game from the games available on the NSO service on the Nintendo Switch, and we're going to play them for at least 30 minutes each and talk about our opinions of those games.
Playing It Wrong, episode 20.
All right, so here we are. It's episode 20, and also before we get started, we've got a special guest with us this week. It's Matthew Stoner.
Hey, that's me, guys. Here I am. I'm wrong in it.
You're wrong in it.
And boy, oh boy, did you pick the wrong week to come on. I don't know actually how y'all fell. So we did a special thing, given that this is sort of the episode 20. It's the sort of the season finale of season 2 of Playing It Wrong. We went wild and we played an N64 game and a Sega Genesis game.
We took risks.
Risks were taken.
You're breaking your first rule, which is the N in the name of this program. By playing a Sega Genesis game, it's crazy season finale.
It's wild stuff happening here. But so this week we did something different. We did that. We played Dynamite Headdy for the Sega Genesis app that's on the Nintendo Switch, which is weird in and of itself to say out loud. And we played Sin and Punishment for the N64. Well, before we get into any specifics, how was this week? How was playing these two games, just generally, for everybody?
Oh, well, a combination of both, because I've got different opinions of both games. So I guess it's kind of like okay, but more good okay than bad, I guess, because I've got different opinions about both games, so it's kind of hard to say what this is. I guess it's more good okay, as I say, good okay this week.
What about you, Matthew? How'd you feel about this as a whole experience?
I would say it was good. I was tempted by the fruit of another, and that was Earthbound. I forgot that launched. As soon as I launched it, I was like, oh, maybe I should just play that game and bail on these guys. I thought it was good. I like these games. I rarely play the NES Online games, so it's just my desire to have a consolidated place to play these games, and there's like lots of friction. You have to launch the app, and then it launches into the game. Anyways, it's a
well, that's fair.
Nintendo needs some UI.
And I'm very excited this week as well, because it's not only Sega Genesis, which I grew up with, but also when I started my Nintendo journey with Nintendo 64. So I'm very excited this week as well, as you can imagine.
Well, I'm interested to talk about these games with y'all because I have a much more negative opinion of both of these games.
Really?
I thought this was a not fun week, but we'll get into it. Let's get into it. So for the Sega Genesis, we played a game called Dynamite Headdy. So Dynamite Headdy, real briefly, came out in 1994 for the Genesis, and it was made by Treasure. So this is interesting because it's actually a Treasure week. Both of these games were
I noticed that. Yeah,
developed or co-developed by Treasure, which I don't.
And guess who else created Treasure? Mischief Makers. Just saying. Just saying.
Okay. Well, Treasure's interesting because I don't think they make games anymore.
No, I don't
think Treasure exists anymore.
Their last game looks like it's 2014. Their 3DS game.
If they've been working on something, they're really polishing it. But I think Treasure must not exist. I couldn't find like a current state of with them or what happened to them since. So, but let's focus on Dynamite Headdy. So it's sort of like a platformer, right?
It's Rayman's granddad. Pretty much.
I definitely had some big Rayman vibes. You throw your head around instead of like
fists,
your fists and stuff. Yeah. And there's different power-ups, and I don't know, y'all. I just felt overwhelmed by this game's like aesthetics.
Really?
Like it just was vomiting sounds and art. It felt like to me, it was just so much.
A lot of assets being thrown at you. Like it starts with the story, and there's characters, and there's a character intro with names. I get it.
Yeah, it's like a carnival of like like, I don't even know, just like
It's a play. It's a play.
yeah,
It's
like
all play.
with puppets that are escaping, and like I don't
cats trying to kill you
and crazy backgrounds and like lampposts everywhere. Like it was too much. It was too much. Target.
I really enjoyed it though, to be quite honest. I actually really enjoyed this game. I know it might be my Sega Genesis biased here, but I've never played this game on the Sega Genesis. I found it really fun. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah.
How long did y'all stick with this? Matthew, did you play it for a full 30, or did you go longer or shorter?
I think I went to the second boss, the boss where you have to hit that clothes off the enemy.
So what is we counting as a boss here? Is that like the big hot dog looking thing, or what's the second boss?
Yeah,
is that
second boss is like a doll, and the doll wears like a dragon costume and then a tutu.
Okay, and
you have to use your head to knock the clothes off.
You're a better man than me. I didn't make it that far.
Okay.
There's other bosses, but you're not quite sure if they're bosses or not as well, because there's not really a health bar as such as a health light, which I found very interesting.
Everything about this game is so weird.
Yeah.
I agree. It is a weird game. That's why I love it.
And how far did you make it?
I played 40 minutes into it. I got, what was my last boss? I'm just looking now. Actually, the last boss wasn't a good boss today. I'm trying to think. I can't think what last boss it was. I think it was like maybe a robot sort of boss. But I played 40 minutes. I really enjoyed it. I could play it, like, continue playing this game, because I really, really did enjoy it. So yeah, 40 minutes. I know I could have gone longer.
I think the gameplay is like satisfying because you have different head power-ups, and that provides some like contra satisfaction. But then you also have this grapple mechanic where you can use your head to grapple onto things. Not sure how that works, but it makes me feel like I'm playing Ristar, another Genesis games, and it feels like a combination of a bunch of different things. There's like Sonic and Contra and Ristar. There's lots of influence here.
And Rayman.
Rayman.
Yeah,
right?
Rayman. I mean, I always go back to Rayman. I've only played like one Rayman game, the first one for the PlayStation 1. But it's like multi-directional. You can shoot your head, which is kind of cool. And you talk about the power-ups as well. Like there's some actually power-ups that can hinder you as well. There's like a sleep power-up for some reason.
No, thank you. Like that happened to me by accident when I'm fighting the boss. Like I get some power-up where I couldn't move, like a huge head.
Yeah, huge head.
Easter Island head. That's like, I'm stuck. That's just how I felt about this game in general. It just felt like wild. Like, and I think I only played for maybe 20, 30 minutes, but like, I think that what you were saying, Matthew, the core like gameplay and movement was pretty satisfying, but it was just too much going on for me. Like, and it was really unclear where to hit, how to traverse. Like, I don't know. I was kind of like overwhelmed by it, and
I had the opposite. Like you actually had help one time, well, a few times maybe, from like the I don't know what you call it, pixie angel thing, with the thing saying hit here. I was thinking, oh, this is really easy. Thank you for helping me with this boss. But then maybe sometimes other times it wasn't clear, and as you said, there is a lot. But I just really enjoyed it. I said it could be again my Sega Genesis bias with this, but a game I've never played, and like the health system very interesting. Like your health system's a light as well. And the boss is a light, and you've got to take their health down, which I find very interesting. I found just the whole experience very interesting and very enjoyable, but again, that's just me.
I don't know, like I just found it really weird. Like every time I feel like I got a handle on it, it threw something else at me. Like that level where you're on a 2D plane, but it's like a 3D platform that's rotating back and forth.
Oh yeah.
Like I found that really frustrating. Like I don't know, it just was like, it's like it just didn't, a lot of things I found frustrating about it. But I understand that the core gameplay was kind of interesting with throwing your head, and was like satisfying when it was kind of a clear 2D and I had a clear objective. I was enjoying it. But yeah.
There was one part, I don't know if any of you got to the part, I guess you guys did. There was one part you had to like impale some like, I would call them like Pac-Man's children on a spike to use them as platforms to get to the other bit. Did you guys come across that? I was like, what's going on?
You're blowing my mind. I didn't know Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man has children.
Yeah, they definitely look like them.
There was just so much visually as well. Like the backgrounds are crazy and like weird art pieces. And like, yes, like you said, it's like a stage play, but like, I don't know. And like, yeah, the spotlight, that's your health. Like, it's really hard to tell.
Yeah. And like, there's like one bit where like the scenery, you see like the workers of the scenery, like collapsed in the background, hanging over like beams and stuff. It's like, what is going on?
Yeah, there's like buff guys in the background at times.
Yeah.
Who's
funding this play? Like, who's putting up the money?
What's the deal with this cat too? Like this cat, like there's I think where I've stopped playing is the level where the cat head has come back at you and it's like grabbed you and spinning you around and
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize what I was supposed to do there for a long time. I just like kept going on and on until I realized, oh, I'm supposed to hit the cat.
Yeah.
I thought like maybe this was a level where I was just being dragged and you know what I mean? So I was like attacking the other enemies. I don't know. And that just feels representative of this game for me.
I think also like you have to have the right power up because I know every time on that level particular I had there's one head you can get just sucks all the enemies in like a one-shot thing.
That was fun. I liked that. That was the vacuum head.
In vacuum, it just kills everything, and you get like health and bonus points as well for sucking everything in. But some power ups can be alright, some others not. Especially in that situation, that boss where you needed to hit him. And you just couldn't.
Maybe you play this game more, you get a sense of the power-ups, but like I also felt like I'd accidentally grab power-ups all the time, and I was never knowing what they were gonna do.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't know.
You're scared of the power-ups. You're like, maybe
I
I'll
am,
fall
yeah,
asleep.
Yeah, half the time it'll be good, or half the time I start moving super fast. That's what it felt like.
Yeah, that's the best one.
I've never like seen or heard of a power up that actually hinders you in a game before.
Yeah.
To be honest, sorry,
like the poison mushroom or something.
Yeah. But like this is like you can choose to fall asleep if you wanted to.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like even like with the poison mushroom, sometimes that you hit like an upside down question mark, and it's clearly a different color. It's like a violet, a purple color than the other ones. But this is like if you're playing Sonic and there's straight up just like an enemy inside one of the screens that you get the rings and you don't know.
Yeah. It's like completely random. It's like one of the TV boxes you get in Sonic. It's just, but instead of just like you see the power up, it goes random. So you've got the chance of hitting something that just completely hinders your gameplay.
And then
I do think
continuing the Sonic metaphor, let's just pretend that everything is being thrown on the screen at all times. There's pixels and trees and animals and other puppets and other power-ups and other things. It's so busy.
Yeah.
Everything's calling for your attention in this game.
It's so busy.
I think from the gameplay, there's another like power-up as well. It's like all these have unique power-ups, and it's like another mechanic as well. You've got this like spike head, and you can climb up walls. It's just like a lot of game mechanics in this game.
Yeah, and I think too. It just has that Genesis energy. Maybe I'm now kind of putting together, right? Like where they're like, we're not Nintendo. This is just all this stuff.
Yeah, just throw crap on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
I've just seen another power up as well, like time stop as well, a bit overpowered.
Oh, you're right. I can see how many years. Looks like Mischief Makers came out 3 years later, so I can kind of see some of the craziness that's in Mischief Makers.
The grabbing mechanics definitely.
Yeah, I could see they toned down some of the attention grabbing things, but I can see the connection between those two games.
Mm.
I was just looking at the Wikipedia page. Apparently, the game's design was inspired somewhat by Terry Gilliam. Terry Gilliam being the filmmaker of like Monty Python fame, the guy that's made all those weird movies like Brazil and all that stuff. So interesting, but I don't know. Okay. Well, is there anything else before we move on? Any weird or interesting or thing specifics about this game before we like give a recommendation and move on to the other game?
Well, if it's weird stuff, there's a list. So,
Well, where do we start, Ant?
yeah. Where do we start exactly?
Well, yeah. Well, maybe we just move on to recommendation then, because there is a lot going on with this game. I think we've covered the basics of it. Y'all had a better experience with this than me, I think. Would you recommend people check out this game if they have the expansion pack?
Yeah, I think this is a fun platformer.
Yeah, I mean, again, I really enjoyed this game. I could have played it like for a long time. I just don't know what it was about it. I just really enjoyed it, and I don't know why. It just appealed to me a lot.
Yeah, it looks to be about 3 to 3.5 hours to beat it. So you can beat it in a little bit of time if you're not frustrated. Push through.
Yeah, and definitely. Did y'all use save states
I used rewind.
or rewind? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, only sometimes, not many, but yeah.
Yeah, I think my recommendation is very soft, like, yeah, check it out. But maybe like me, you'll be like, I think that the core gameplay is interesting. I just did not like the aesthetic, and I felt frustrated by some of the mechanics. But worth checking out if you have it.
Man, it just reminded me of so many of those SNES Genesis platformers of like Kid Chameleon with the focus on power-ups, or there's like a Mickey game on SNES, like a Magical Quest or Castle of Illusion or something, where you get a bunch of other power-ups and then the level is designed around the power-up that you get. And that's what I would have liked from this game, rather than throwing power-ups, tons of them at you all at once. I would like the level or parts of the level built around the power-up so you can really utilize them.
Yeah, that's fair. I think the game did have like some tutorials, but it felt like the tutorials were in weird places and maybe too long.
Yeah, I agree, yeah.
The like pacing of the beginning of this game just felt a little bit weird to me too.
That's when I used the rewind feature, because I accidentally went in one of those tutorial doors again.
Oh, me too. And I wish I had thought of that, because like I went in the target one twice, like because I got out of it and pushed up and I was like, oh shit. But I stuck with it and hit it 100 times again or whatever. I'm an idiot. Why didn't I rewind? Well, let's move on. So the other game we played this week was the Nintendo 64 game Sin and Punishment. And Sin and Punishment was also developed by Treasure, or co-developed by Treasure as well as Nintendo. And it never came, or it wasn't released in the United States or Europe. I think it wasn't released outside of Japan until like maybe the Virtual Console, the Wii Virtual Console or the Wii U. I'm not really sure which one. Probably the Wii first. But at any rate, so it's like a on rails like shoot 'em up. I don't know what you want to call this, like run and gun kind of contrast. What?
Yeah, it feels like Star Fox 64, but you're on foot a little bit. That's the only thing I can describe it as.
Yeah, definitely like an on rails shooter. I don't know. Did y'all watch the intro to this?
No.
Very long. It was like about 3 minutes something long.
Did it make any sense?
No.
Is that the one where they have that cool gun flip animation where they throw it across the room and the character catches that polygon gun?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, it is. And it doesn't make sense, but apparently there's some sort of at the time near future, I guess. Like it was released in 2000 in Japan, but it was like set in 2007. And there's like
what?
There's like well, like at the time it was the future, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now it's the past. But it was like
I don't remember this happening in 2007.
Yeah, no, I didn't pan out. But yeah, I couldn't follow the story, but apparently there's some sort of war and there's like a famine and you're some sort of resistance. The resistance is led by kids, is what's weird, right? Like these are kids that you're playing as.
Love to see it.
How long did y'all stick with this one?
24 minutes.
Specific.
Similar to the other one, made it to the second boss,
Okay.
like the
Yeah.
big turtle looking guy,
Oh yeah, same. That's where I where I
Yep.
got to.
the one
Yeah.
where you have to try and knock off the edge. But I kept on dying because I didn't know you could jump until that.
Oh
that
yeah, you
part.
can jump. Well, holy cow! I think I played this about 30 minutes, and I think I got to that just before that boss or right around that boss. I honestly don't know because I was not having a lot of fun. But like the controls are weird.
Yeah.
Did y'all sit through and like watch the game explain the controls?
No.
Oh my gosh, there's like 3 different ways you can play. You can hold the you can hold the N64 controller in all 3 ways, I think, depending on how you want to play this game.
Oh, were you using an N64 controller?
Yeah.
I wasn't, but like watched the like tutorial or whatever, and it explains it that way, which is greatly helpful when you aren't playing with it because you're like, well, what am I doing? But like, it's just weird the control setup for this game because you can theoretically use like the D-pad and the control stick on an N64 controller. I don't know, but like it was weird controls, right? Like this, you could do auto aim, or you could do aim yourself. I think depending on which control scheme you use, and so I accidentally switched between those a few times. I don't know.
Yeah, I think this game is better played with a Nintendo 64 controller. Definitely, 100%. Because I found it, switching from like rolling either side, it was like either end of the controller. I think it was like Y and A. I'm not 100% sure. And it's like to roll one way or jump another way or something. And jump is like X, I think. And yeah, the controls didn't really help. If it was an Nintendo 64 controller, I think I would have a better time with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did enjoy it, the first bit of it, but until I got to that part, I said I didn't enjoy it. So
Yeah, I don't know, like, so the controls maybe were a little weird, but also just like, did y'all find the gameplay loop satisfying? Like, it felt like too easy at first and then kind of arbitrarily hard every once in a while.
yes.
Like, I don't know if that was your experience or not. Like
100% my experience. Like the first bit was like, oh yeah, you're going along, shooting a couple of things and shooting a couple of people and like blockades and stuff, and then the difficulty just jumps when you get to a boss, especially that boss, the second one.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I don't know. I feel like we have to talk about the art. I mean, it's just kind of its time, right? It's that polygon, low poly, like it's just ugly. Yeah. I just do not like looking at this.
You can tell it's a Nintendo 64 game.
Yeah. The kids are all freakishly proportioned. I don't know, like that you play as like some weird, like I don't know, like you had like maybe it was intentional, but you have like a weird arm and like I was a little unsettled by the graphics of this game.
What did you think of the gun pose where the half of the body is turned not towards the enemy, but like 45 degrees or like 90 degrees the other way?
I can shoot you with one hand.
Yeah,
well turned, my body turned.
But your arm is pointing towards the enemy, but your body is pointed 90 degrees the other way. What a baller stance! I
will believe that these unholy creatures move like that, though. You know what I mean? It felt in character for their bizarre poses, but totally like, and then like they would go to push like the buttons on the elevator or whatever weird stuff was happening, and it would like take this super weird wide stance.
Yeah.
It's
so weird.
What I learned from the boss I was on, I'm just looking through some gameplay now. Is it the one on the lift that you guys got to?
Yes.
That boss? Yeah, that's the one. So I found out I lost a lot of health there, but to make matters worse, once the timer goes down, you lose health when the timer goes down, and I had no chance of beating a boss, and that's probably why, because the timer goes down, you lose health as well, when you're on red already. So
Gotcha.
So yeah, didn't like that. Didn't like the timer. At all.
What a weird game. I don't know what to say about it. Like I just like everything about this game was bizarre to me. Especially just like the way it looked more than anything. Very interesting to read about it on like Wikipedia too, because apparently like I guess Nintendo and Treasure maybe had some like, I don't know if just like difficulty working together.
It shows in the gameplay. No, I'm sorry.
No, it kind of does. And apparently Treasure really wanted to make a game where you could hold the N64 controller using the D-pad and the control stick, from reading about it. So, I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, well, I think once you get past, there's two questions you have to ask. If you want to play Sin and Punishment, is can you get past the controls? And then two is, do you like rail shooters? Do you like Star Fox?
Yeah.
Do you like Panzer Dragoon? Do you like, I don't know, a bunch of other on-rail shooter arcade games like Jurassic Park and Alien and all those other ones?
And then do you want it to be real ugly?
If you made it first 1 and 2 and you say no ugly, probably not the game for you.
Like, do you want to call standing shooting animation?
Yeah, like freakish body positions too. Can you handle that?
I hope someday we'll. I feel like Splatoon is similar to that. They have these weird. Outside of like the blocky N64, the Splatoon has these weird poses, but because they're squids, it's like it's more forgiving.
Yeah, it's cute.
Right, it's cute even, right? And less like body dysmorphia or something.
Yes.
Yeah, this is definitely not cute. This game, definitely not.
Well, what do you think? Do you recommend people play Sin and Punishment?
So this is where I said it's kind of like an okay good, because Dynamite Headdy was like really enjoyable for me. This was enjoyable until it got to a certain point, and then it was just overly too hard with the timer and everything else. So I thought, yeah, just if you want to check it out, I suppose one of those sort of games, check it out if you want. It's there. So that's where I stand on it.
I agree. Yeah, if you like Star Fox 64, you want to play a game that's similar to Star Fox 64, outside of the R wing, on ground running, maybe give it a shot.
Totally right. Like, I don't recommend it unless you kind of check off that list that Matthew gave, which is, do you like this kind of game? And then, are you okay with the graphics? So probably don't recommend this one personally, but you know, I'm sure it's somebody's favorite game. So good for them. Well, that's mostly it. Yeah, I mean, what a week. What a week.
Classics. I mean, Dynamite Headdy is a game I thought I played, but turns out I just saw the box a lot when I was growing up.
It is kind of funny, that space of these games where sometimes you're like, I think I might have played that. No, I haven't. Or the other way around sometimes too, right? Where you're like, no, I remember this.
It's like me growing up with a Sega Genesis and like playing this game, which I've never played. One game Sega Genesis not played. I played a lot of Sega Genesis games, and this is one I haven't played, so it's good to actually play this one.
And curious, did you have a Sega channel where you grew up? Do you know what I mean?
No, I didn't. I don't know what it is, but I didn't.
It's like a Sega subscription service. It was, I don't know, I think it was ran by Time Warner here in the States, but it was just like a subscription for Sega games, and Dynamite Headdy, I think, was one of them. And this like seeps into my memory of like I saw on Sega Channel a bunch of other Sega games like Virtual Fighter and Eternal Champions, and like Dynamite Headdy was one I saw a lot, so I thought I played it. Turns out I didn't.
Well, hey Matthew, thanks so much for playing some old weird games and coming on and talking to us about them.
Thanks for playing it wrong.
Real quickly though, before we call it, we are gonna this is the end of season 2, but we are gonna come back at some point with more episodes. There's still lots of games on these services that we haven't played, and we're gonna go ahead and pick the next pair of games. We're gonna switch it back to NES and SNES, at least to start off season 3. So Ant, can you give us a quick countdown, and I'll run the random number generator here.
Yeah, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's play it wrong.
All right. Well, we got Super Mario Brothers 3 for the NES. That's a classic, which we kind of have played, but kind of haven't, with the Mario All-Stars having happened. And we got Caveman Ninja, also known as Joe and Mac.
Played the second one.
SNES, yeah. So we will have played all the Caveman games after that. Maybe not. There's probably other ones. So yeah, thanks again, Matthew, for joining. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Matthew.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This was fun.
Yeah, and we're going to take a break, and we'll come back with Season 3 when we play Super Mario Bros. 3 and Caveman Ninja, or Joe and Mac as it's known.
Bye, guys.
Thanks for listening to Playing It Wrong. This podcast is a collaboration between Super Switch Heads and Ant Keeps Gaming. Check out the weekly Super Switch Heads podcast, and also check out Ant Keeps Gaming on YouTube. Our music is provided by Bent Neatly. Thanks again. Bye.